question on there's one section which I had prescribed, that is organization of ministries and all I had prescribed. So out of that, I have asked one question, Enforcement Directorate. So the first question is related to Indian Ocean. In the diplomatic imagination of India, Indian Ocean occupies a primary place. Now, as usual, the discussion will be one is why the question has been asked, the motivation behind the question, and second is identifying keywords. Then from keywords you're giving parts, thereafter you're allotting marks for that. So first is, now what is the keyword in this? It occupies an important position. That's one keyword. So first you address the statement, thereafter you go for the context, this one. First you address the context, then you go for the attached question to it, quad. Without addressing the question, you're not directly jumping to quad. So what is the statement you're addressing, how it is important? Part 1 will be importance of Indian Ocean. Indian Ocean importance is in two ways. One is either you have interest there or there are threats. Because of these two things, Indian Ocean becomes important. When you talk about interest, give certain statistics which makes your answer specific. Like generally saying Indian Ocean is a great ocean, India is a great country, does not work. It's like 7,500 kilometer coastline. You have 90% of oil trade, 80% of general trade of India is through Indian Ocean. The second reason why it is important is because of the threats. When you talk about threats, there are two kinds of threats: state and non-state actors. Now, non-state actors, anything which you could list through Indian Ocean, like piracy, terrorism, counterfeit currency, or you have illegal trafficking of arms, illegal human trafficking, etc. All are non-state actor threats. Now, state actor threats, slightly I'm giving a bit more detailed when you talk. You can just make it crisper because it's 10-mark question, but for your understanding, I'm giving you a few more details. With respect to state actor intervention, it is not a problem of today. First it was UK, thereafter you have USA, then you have France, then you have China today. So major four powers. So colonial powers first, UK and France. UK leased out certain portions, that is Diego Garcia, to USA. In present context, China, you have the string of pearls, OBR, etc. and all. So this is your introduction where you're talking about the threats and also interest. Now, second part is, go to the second part of the question, Quad. Now, when you talk about Quad, what exactly it is quadrilateral security dialogue. It consists of what? Four members. Which are the four members? India, US, Japan and Australia. Now the idea, for the first time, you should talk about the meetings. You might be knowing just about the recent meeting which was held in 2020 prior to the elections of US presidential elections. But the original conception of Quad happened long back. In 2007, the first meeting was held. That was under Manmohan Singh and the other people there. It is only after that, the first meeting, the second meeting was held recently. Okay, this introduction is important because it was in the, and you also have to explain, it was in the context of what? Chinese assertions in Indo-Pacific. Now, if you have to link specifically, where does Quad come in? Obama gives a policy called Asia Pivot. Asia Pivot is focusing on East Asia. So there he took certain initiatives like TPP and installment of THAAD missile, etc. and all. Yes, that is, after that you see Trump takes it forward. Quad is also one part of that. Trump takes it forward, that the Asia Pivot policy in a new format. There is something called Indo-Pacific Vision Statement which he brings out, under which these initiatives happen. Now, what is the importance and drawback? Objective, basically, the objective is not made explicit at in two different meetings. They've said it explicitly that it is it's working as Chinese assertion, or basically it is working for what? Multilateralism in ocean, particularly Indo-Pacific. Now, how is this body important? This body is important because through this, you're enhancing bilateral relations, not just multilateral. Your relationship with those countries in terms of defense gets enhanced. That is the importance of Quad. Second is, it also makes India a strong security player in East Asia, thus strengthening East Asian relationship. And more importantly, today, if you see, it's not just Quad. Quad has also invited many people today with the Chinese assertion. What has happened? Certain countries which were close to China, France and Germany particularly, because they meant business with China. Recently, France and Germany also have been active. Germany has brought out a Asia Pacific a vision statement they have brought out. That is the first time Germany has brought out. France has appointed a coordinator, an officer for Indo-Pacific with Australia to cooperate with Australia. Now, this is what? This is a sudden change in the stance of these two people, these two countries, which never happened earlier. So, all this points towards what? This is becoming a sort of a developed countries alliance vis-a-vis China and India, and that's how Quad is important for India. But what is the problem with Quad? Quad problem is either it is doing too much or it is doing nothing. So when it is not doing anything, what does it mean? There is no joint statement till date. Two meetings have happened. Whenever meetings happen, they come out with a joint statement. No joint statement till date. Leave joint statement. Is there any kind of military exercise under Quad? You have Malabar exercise involved. Malabar exercise was in 1992 first time. That does not come under Quad. So there is no military exercise. There is no institution proper. When I say Quad, is there any secretariat? Is there any regularity of meetings? Nothing. 2007 the meeting happened, 2020 that meeting happens, and that too because of some contingent regions. When you say contingent, what is that? US presidential elections were about to happen, so he was drumming up support against China. That is why the meeting happens, and it is lacking a purpose. When you say lack a purpose, objective is not very clear. Though the US says the objective is China, others are slightly averse to accepting that. India particularly does not want it to be explicitly called anti-China alliance. So that way, this is not doing enough. Sometimes it does too much. When you say too much of rhetoric, it is turning out into an Asian NATO, an Asian alliance. So it is very difficult for countries like India to take positions, because if you join this and say it is Asian NATO, then what is its position on RIC? What is its position in SCO? What is its relationship with China? So this will, if it will upset China, this is one big problem. Next is, most important thing, you're working in Indo-Pacific, your ASEAN is not there, and the countries who are affected by that, there is no coordination with those countries. Next is, most important thing is unreliable partner. Particularly US was unreliable. I mean, until Trump was there. The position may change with the coming of Biden. But Australia also not very a strong player. I mean, it is only 3 or 4 days ago, it had made certain statements on Hong Kong related issue. Otherwise, Australia still has not made up its mind. Recently, it has made up a mind to join Malabar exercises. 1992, India-US started Malabar exercises. 2015 is when Japan joins. Australia was not a permanent member. Recently, it has said it will join. Okay, so unreliable partners, particularly US under Trump. Australia is unreliable partner. Okay, so in total 3 parts, mark distribution is given 2, 1, and 3. Importance and drawbacks are 3.